The phone ripped me out of sleep like a blade through silk. 3:07 a.m., one vibration. Then another. Then my father's name burning on the screen. He never called at night. "Are you home?" His voice was wrong, too sharp, too alive. "Yes, sleeping. What's wrong?" A pause. Not hesitation, calculation. "Lock every door, turn off all the lights, take your son to the guest room, now." A chill slid through my spine. "You're scaring me." "Do it. Don't let your wife know anything." The line went dead. I didn't breathe. I moved. I lifted my son from his bed without waking him, his small weight warm against my chest. Every step downstairs felt like walking through glass. I killed the lights by memory. One switch, two, three. Darkness swallowed the house. In the guest room, I lowered him gently to the bed, pulled the curtains just enough to see. And that's when I saw it. A car at the curb, engine still running, blacked out windows, and a shadow stepping out of the driver's seat, slow, confident, familiar in a way that made my stomach turn. The shadow raised its head and looked straight at my window. For a long time, I told myself my marriage was quiet, not empty, that my wife's late nights were work, not escape, that her sudden tenderness was affection, not guilt. I built a story that let me sleep at night. My father shattered it with one sentence. "He's been inside your house before," he had said when he called back 20 minutes later, "and he's not there to see you." The shadow outside eventually drove away. No attempt to enter, no confrontation, just a warning written in silence. I didn't wake my wife. I lay beside her until morning, listening to her breathe, counting the spaces between her lies. Her hand reached for me once in her sleep. I didn't take it. By sunrise, denial was already bleeding into certainty. She guarded her phone like a second heart. She flinched when it vibrated. She showered longer, dressed sharper, smiled at nothing. Our son called out for her and she didn't hear him. Her attention belonged to someone else now. And still, she kissed my cheek before work. I tasted betrayal on her lips. I didn't confront her. I didn't raise my voice. I became methodical. Phone records first. Not invasion, confirmation. A number appeared every night after I slept. Unlisted, persistent, long. Then the cameras. I told her it was for security. She laughed, said I was paranoid. She didn't know my father had already trained me to be worse. 3 weeks of footage. I watched my own life like surveillance from another world. Her routine, his pattern. The same black car. The same quiet arrival while I was working late. The same door opening. The same trust she never gave me again. Even then, I didn't break. DNA was last, the most dangerous question. The one my mind had been skirting like a wound that still hurt to touch. I took a sample from my son's toothbrush while he slept and sent it away without ceremony. Waiting was the hardest part. Not because I feared the answer, because I already knew it. At night, I lay beside my wife, feeling her warmth like something borrowed. I listened to her breath and wondered how long she had been lying beside me with a stranger's secrets stitched into her skin. The email arrived at 9:12 a.m. on a Tuesday. Probability of paternity 0.00%. No dramatic music, no collapse, just a quiet internal click. That evening, I placed the printed report on the table between us while she drank her tea. She read one line, then another. Her hand began to shake. "I can explain," she whispered. I looked at her as if she were a stranger who had wandered into my house by mistake. "I'm sure you can." She cried the way people do when they realize the ground is already gone beneath their feet. Words spilled, timelines, names, excuses, love, mistakes, fear. The man in the black car. The reason my father had been watching him for months. A foreign intelligence courier. My wife's lover. My son's real father. I stayed still while her life collapsed in front of her. I had already moved the money, secured custody, made the evidence public to the agencies that needed to see it. By the time she finished begging, her lover was already in chains. I didn't raise my voice. I stood. I came home that night because my father saved us, I said. I stayed because I wanted to understand what kind of person you were. She reached for me. I stepped back. You didn't just betray me, I said quietly. You sold our son's safety for a fantasy. I walked away before she could touch me again. Now the house is quiet. My son sleeps with the steady breath of a child who still believes in safety. I sit in the dark and feel nothing. My father calls sometimes. We don't talk about that night. She sends messages I never open. Betrayal doesn't burn forever. It becomes structure. And in that structure, I finally learned how to stand without her.